Welcome back to Four Faces. I got some good news. Remember Breonna Taylor, the young lady in Louisiana who got shot up and killed because police officers raided her home? I mean, they went in there with guns blazing and it was crazy. And remember the police officers that got away with that? It was one of the most pathetic cases we probably know. But guess what? I got some good news for you. The federal government just prosecuted three people. Three people have now been indicted. Yes, they have. And let me tell you something. It gets a little crazy. I'm going to let you see the video so you can see for yourself what happened. But here's the bad part of this all. First of all, it's a shame that this took so long for her to get any type of form of justice. That's number one. Number two, the police department there is horrible. They are horrendously, I don't know how to put it in words. But let me just give you a summary of what happened. And then I'll let you check out the video. Basically what happened was, there was police officers. You won't believe this. They falsified the search warrant. Yes, they did. They basically told a lie, man, so they can go into the house. I didn't think that. That caught me totally off guard. That's crazy. Imagine that. And now that's two of them are being indicted because of that. Then the other police officer who went in there and started shooting up through the window, guess what? They found out that the blinds was down. He moved the blinds out and started shooting 10 shots in there. Imagine that. Unbelievable. So I'm just happy that there's some type of justice being looked at here. There's gotta be some type of conviction here. It's gotta be. It just seems so unrealistic that nothing positive can come out of this. It's gotta be something positive. They gotta go get those guys. Somebody's gotta pay the piper. It shouldn't just be, well, we killed her, we walk away, and that's about all that's all she wrote. Nah, we can't do that. Let's go get them. But I'm really happy that at least the federal government is looking into this. There's three people that have been indicted. You know what? Let's check out the video. I'll talk to you later.
Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. The four defendants were charged through two separate indictments and one information. I'm going to begin today by discussing the civil rights offenses that stem from the falsification of a search warrant. We allege that these offenses resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. These charges focus on the conduct of the Louisville Metro Police Department's Place-Based Investigations Unit. In the first indictment filed today, we allege that in early 2020, that unit was investigating suspected drug trafficking in the West End of Louisville. On March 12, 2020, officers from that unit sought 5 search warrants they claimed were related to the suspected drug trafficking. 4 of those warrants targeted properties in the West End where that activity was allegedly occurring. A 5th search warrant was for Breonna Taylor's home, which was approximately 10 miles away from the West End. The federal charges announced today allege that members of the Place-Based Investigations Unit falsified the affidavit used to obtain the search warrant of Ms. Taylor's home, that this act violated federal civil rights laws, and that those violations resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. Specifically, we allege that Ms. Taylor's Fourth Amendment rights were violated when defendants Joshua Janes, Kyle Meany, and Kelly Goodlatte sought a warrant to search Ms. Taylor's home knowing that the officers lacked probable cause for the search. We allege that the defendants knew the affidavit in support of that warrant contained false and misleading information and that it omitted material information. Among other things, the affidavit falsely claimed that officers had verified that the target of the alleged drug trafficking operation had received packages at Ms. Taylor's address. In fact, defendants Janes and Goodlatte knew that was not true. We further allege that defendants Janes and Meany knew the search warrant would be carried out by armed LMPD officers and that conducting that search could create a dangerous situation for anyone who happened to be in Ms. Taylor's home.
On the morning of March 13th, 2020. Tragically, she did not. She was just 26 years old. As Attorney General Garland just stated, today's indictments allege that Louisville Police Detective Joshua Janes and Sergeant Kyle Meany drafted and approved what they knew was a false affidavit to support a search warrant for Ms. Taylor's home. That false affidavit set in motion events that led to Ms. Taylor's death when other LMPD officers executed that warrant. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution ensures that people are subject to searches only when there is probable cause supporting a search warrant. Falsified warrants create unnecessary hazards for the public and for the police, who rely on facts that fellow officers report in carrying out their public duties. The indictment alleges that by preparing a false affidavit to secure a search warrant for Breonna Taylor's homes, defendants Janes and Meany willfully deprived Breonna Taylor of her constitutional right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. And we allege that Ms. Taylor's death resulted from that violation. In a separate indictment, the grand jury charges former LMPD Detective Brett Hankison with using unconstitutionally excessive force during the raid on Ms. Taylor's home. Without a lawful objective justifying the use of deadly force, defendant Hankison traveled away from Ms. Taylor's doorway to the side of the building and fired 10 shots into Breonna Taylor's apartment through a bedroom window and a sliding glass door that were both covered with blinds and curtains. Community safety dictates that police officers use their weapons only when necessary to defend their own lives or the lives of others, and even then, that they must do so with great care and caution. Today's indictment alleges that Hankison's use of excessive force violated the rights of Breonna Taylor and her guest, and also of her neighbors whose lives were endangered by bullets that penetrated into their apartment. Attorney General Garland often underscores that at the Justice Department, we are to follow the facts and the law. And today, after a full and comprehensive investigation, the facts and law have brought us here to these indictments.